Arguing in... Oh, what's up? What's up, you guys? Anatomy of Marriage here. Arguing in front of kids. Is it better to have hard conversation within earshot of the kids or to hide them?
Hide the kids? That's a weird... It's a really weird option.
Quick!
Stick them in the closet.
Right.
I love this question because it's something that we didn't understand this in our marriage for a long time. My parents didn't fight in front of me.
No.
Seth's parents, I think, did, but I didn't know that. And
until you didn't know that until I told you, like
2 weeks ago.
No, literally, probably 5 months ago, right?
It was longer than that, but so we didn't. So what I thought I was doing for 10 years was, I think we should have these difficult conversations constructively, healthfully, and do them well in front of our kids to help them learn how to communicate and communicate through conflict. But unbeknownst to me, it was triggering Seth because he's like, look, my parents used to fight in front of me all the time and I hated it. And so I literally had no clue and thought that what I was doing was really helpful. And it turned out that it wasn't. But had we talked about it beforehand, that would have been something we would have done differently.
Yeah. But to the question of, is it okay to yell and fight or whatever degree of arguments?
These are different. So let's divide it up because hard conversations, that can mean a whole plethora of things.
Right.
I would say that if you're fighting and screaming and calling each other bad names, you should
absolutely not.
You shouldn't do that anyway. Clearing structure. You shouldn't do that anyway. I know it happens, but don't do that in front of your children. That is that's like trauma.
It is trauma. So let me speak to that from a clinical point. So I see a lot of kids. I work with young kids, and there's this thing called the ACE score, Adverse Childhood Experience. And one of the questions on there, did you experience at a young age your parents or your caregivers yelling, fighting, arguing? And that's a question on there because it has adverse effects for when you do get older, right? So, I mean, I remember several arguments that my parents had, and they should have controlled themselves enough to go outside or do something or send us to grandma's or whatever. And that is absolutely not okay because remember, from our family of origin episode, you are basically, when you're fighting with your spouse in front of your kids or your partner, you are the teachers. You are giving a lecture to your kids. They are in the classroom right there going, well, that's how you do it. And dad called mom this, and mom screamed this or threw this, and dad did something crazy. You are giving them permission to do that with their spouse, or you're giving them permission to do that with their caregivers at school or daycare or
their friends.
Or their friends. And that is absolutely 100% not healthy. It's not beneficial. It's not teaching the kids the things that you want to teach them. So pause that immediately. However, this question talks about hard conversations. So maybe it's conversations about money or
changing a job
or stress or sex. I don't know. I mean, maybe not sex in that, but like with teenagers, like learning about sexuality or things like that.
Uncomfortable conversations.
I would say that is okay, but tempered with wisdom throughout. Like when you were 12, when you were 8, would you be okay listening to your mom or dad say this? And think about this, and we see this in our own kids often. The kids see mom and dad as literally their life source, right? So they experience the same amount of stress if you thought that you were going to get fired from your job, or you thought that you were going to get in a car wreck. And I know that sounds weird, but they interpret that stress as mom's not okay, dad's yelling, and you get nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we see it in our own kids, and we don't even.
You mean they internalize your stress? Yes.
They internalize.
So here's a good example of that. If I speak too bluntly with Seth, like not rude, not unkindly, but if I'm like, remotely stern at all in the way that I vocalize to him. Tough will often say, Mom, why are you mad at Dad?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not mad at him. I'm just telling him what I need or what needs to be done, whatever it is. But there's a certain amount of like absorbing that your children will do of your emotions that might be hidden, or that your body language is sort of like giving you away. It's conveying that maybe your words aren't conveying.
Right.
So there's I think a balance that you have to find. But on one hand, I have written on our wall, it says the word solutions on a chalkboard. And if you have a hard question, a hard conversation that you need to have, you can frame it like, okay, this is something that's difficult that Daddy and I are talking about. Kids, we want to let you know about it. Maybe it's moving to a different state or changing schools. That's hard. Those are hard conversations.
Like a family meeting kind of conversation.
And you can have those with and in front of your children as long as you say beforehand, we're gonna be kind, even if we're stressed out, even if we feel hurt. We're gonna if we feel like we're gonna start a fight, we're gonna stop, get our computers, get out our clearing structure, and we're gonna bring a solution instead of bring anger, bring frustration, bring blame, bring hurt. We're gonna bring a solution, and we're gonna work through it together.
Right, and to reassure the kids at the beginning, Mom and Dad, we're not mad at each other. We're talking about some stuff. Sometimes adults have to talk about these things. You know, you can even model, like, I'm not mad at your mom. It's okay. Things like that. And that goes a really long way. Like, I see Hattie really, like, if I, do this or whatever and say, hey, we need to talk about something, or we got something going on. If they can see that, then that reassures them, oh, my world is okay.
Yeah.
I'm not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it will, like, in the same way that your kid will kind of absorb your feelings, they will interpret those feelings in whatever way their 7 or 8-year-old brain or 10-year-old brain thinks. And sometimes they're way off. So you would you would hate to think like, well, I'm going to teach my kid how to have this hard conversation, and then have them walk away feeling like my parents hate each other and they screamed at each other and I don't feel safe anymore.
Right.
And that's a weird thing to say, like, I don't feel safe, because you as an adult know that they're safe. But them as children, they don't understand that always.
Well, I know kids think monsters are under their bed, so why is it so far-fetched that, like, Mom and Dad are fighting, oh, my world, what's going on, right? So you absolutely have to think about that. That's an awesome question.
Yeah, and I think, again, it comes back to, what's your intention? Are you intending on bringing a solution, or are you just intending on fighting? Because there's a difference, and there's a difference, going in. Am I going to make something good out of this, or am I just going to yell at my husband for 20 minutes? And so I think it's important to start there. And remember, like what Seth said, I thought that was brilliant. Like, you're the teacher, and everywhere you are with your children is a classroom. So you're teaching them how to behave and how to think and how to act. Are you proud of yourself for that?
So brilliant.
You are. Anyway, all right. Great question, and thank you so much.
All right. Peace.